Today we're going to work on a complementary color figure study. As you can see to the left, I'm going to be working with a complementary color palette of yellows, and to the right, yellow orange, and to the right we have blue violet. So if you see what I went ahead and I put the sketch in first. As you can see, I sketched in the scene. And what I'm doing right now is I'm putting in the shadow areas, the way I typically approach. This is what you call a simple watercolor sketch. The way I approach that watercolor sketch is to start by really breaking up the object into value patterns. So I'm looking at the shadow side of the figure, and I am going with my blue violet color, and I'm blocking in with a mid-tone all of those dark values. Once again, I'm indicating just the shadow areas along the hairline. There's a shadow behind the desk. It's good to start with just big, simple shapes. And then over time, I will slowly build up those shadow areas. So now I'm going into the dog, looking at those shadow shapes, seeing what they look like. And just following the shadow. I'll save the light area for later where I'll bring in the yellow orange. So for the deeper shadows, I'm using the ultramarine blue. For the neutral shadows in the dog and the desk, I'm using a tonal mixture of the yellow orange and the ultramarine blue. And then later, to bring in the light areas, I will use the yellow orange mixture. If you ever have any drips, just wet your brush, wipe it up, get a dry brush, and it's easy to just pick up that paint. For my yellow mixture, I'm using Winsor Yellow and the Winsor Red, and keeping it pretty thin. I wanted to approach this with creating just a buildup of value, buildup of washes. Okay, now I'm putting another value in for the face. I'm using a warmer tone of the yellow orange. I'm just increasing the quantity of the yellow orange since it's for the face, keeping that warm. And adding another tonal range to the hair. Here I'm noticing some objects on the desk that help to define the top of the desk, the top of the computer. Just those simple diagonal lines. Pay really close attention to your diagonals and verticals, the big shapes that will really help hold your scene together. Keep in mind as I build up the values in the shadow area, I don't want to get too heavy, too dark. Whenever you're working on shadows, keep in mind that they need to be transparent, and that transparency, the lightness of those shadows, transparent values will really help to keep the life in your piece. Keep in mind you're not trying to do something that's photorealistic. You see there, you have the photo there. Our goal is not to capture the photo exactly, but using complementary colors just to create an essence, to create a feel, to create a warmth with paint that you cannot necessarily capture with a quick snapshot. Keep in mind for this project, you just want to be, it's an experiment with complementary colors. You want to just stay loose, experimental, and have fun. Always remembering to keep those transparencies, keep your light areas light. Whenever you're doing features on an animal face or a person's face, don't try to draw the entire outline of the feature. Look at the feature and try to see what shape it is. You're going to just put an abstract shape in and possibly connect that shape to the eye socket. If here I was doing the dog's eye, I'm concerned about not just the eye itself, but also the socket. So when you're putting in facial features, make sure you consider that the whole shadow area. Here I realize I want that chair leg to be in front of the dog, so I'm going in with a little bit of a darker tone. Now there's a lot of light coming in through the window, so I really want to create a bright space above the desk and keeping the shadow area beneath the desk. So in keeping with our complementary color system, I'm just going to go with a very, very light application of the yellow orange. This was a mixture of the yellow orange, had a little bit of red in it, but you could see that the yellow is overpowering it. So I'll have to add a little bit more red in there. And there the chair was already dry. I could bring the yellow over to that chair. And here in this area, I've really been able to go in and build up those values in the background. You could see as I start to build up the value, how it really makes a difference. I'm going to be careful with the edge of the dog's face. There's a highlight on the edge. I don't want to lose that highlight. But keeping the light above the figure and then going in with another layer of shadow, you can begin to see how you build the form